Sean, I think this is officially our first face-to-face, man.
Absolutely. There's been numerous times that we were going to meet, and I was supposed to be out somewhere, but
it's all good. But back in the day when I was doing the phone version, the audio only version, you were a regular for a stretch, man. You were.
I was. Yeah.
Come on, we'd have some really good banter. You'd have a view that was
contradictive of yours,
mine and Russ and Zach and but remember Brad Lindsay? Brad was in your boat, but he was kind of on your side.
Yeah, I do remember him. Yeah, absolutely. So there are still some smart people, but I think the greatest thing about it is that we can actually have a difference of opinion and still go out and have a beer. And
exactly. And here we are, man.
I mean? So
speaking of that, cheers, my brother.
I got to figure which one. I got like 10 sitting over here.
Yeah.
Good Kentucky bourbon, by the way.
Here he is. Sean in the house. And you are one that, again, when we first connected, you were and still are involved with the Ville TV network.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's my baby.
So when I first got to know what that was all about, I thought that was cool. And I was like, I need to check this guy out. Once we connected, I'm like, this guy's got things to say, and he's very he's into you speak your mind, but you're fair about it. You're not condescending. We've had, like I said, we had some really good banter back and forth.
Absolutely.
And I remember some of those times when you actually, when things would potentially get heated on some of our conversations, you respectively refrain from making any further comments. I think you just knew where to, the line was.
I think it gets to a point to where you realize that no matter how much whatever you say, it's not going to change somebody's mind, nor should it. I believe strongly in, you should really stand your ground with what your beliefs are. I mean, I'm a veteran. I make no qualms about that. I love this country.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you. I love America. And I support our president, regardless of who it is. Everybody says, you hated Obama. It's like, no, I supported the man. He was our president.
You may have disagreed with him.
I disagree with a lot of what he did. I disagree with a lot of what our current president does, but he's our president. I think the thing that makes me laugh so much, and I said I wasn't going to get political, but you know what? Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Start of the conversation.
No, but I look at a lot of things that are coming out now, and it just seems, I don't know if I just wasn't, if I wasn't paying attention back in the day when Obama was in the office, or if it's just gotten worse. But it seems like, and I use the word libtard, but I also use the word conservatard. There are two. They're
two. Yeah.
I mean, they're one and the same, pretty much. When you're extreme on either side, it is what it is. But I see a lot of the libtards going out there. They're just holding on to anything that they can. And just like I've also called out a few of the conservatards for when you put up pictures of, our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, and you say she looks like a man. I'm like, dude, that's bull crap.
No,
okay?
Speak freely.
Okay, that's bullshit. Don't disrespect her. That's ridiculous. Stop making up claims like that. Same thing I go when we start making these erroneous claims on anybody.
But when they do that, post pictures of Michelle, it's a little deeper than, they're not per se just making fun. There is a.
Oh, where are we going with this?
The R word, man.
Oh, you're going to use the R word.
Yes. Am I wrong?
I'm sorry. Your race card is denied.
Okay.
Do you have any form of other argument?
All right, yeah.
No, but I look at it, and that's a lot of things we've had conversations about this. I think the race card is played entirely too much in the wrong context. I just look for fair. I've spoken to this before, and this is going to piss some people off, but I don't really care. If a person is racist, technically it's their right to be racist.
You're right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's their right, although as scumbaggery as it is, I just don't associate with that. And a lot of people say, well, how can you not recognize racism? It's like, I don't. It's not that I don't recognize it. It's that I don't allow it in my world.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody that I work with has any racist bone in their body. And those are the people that I associate with. So if you want me to sit here and look for racism everywhere, I'm not going to do it. I got better things to do.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I served in the military with all colors, creeds, religions.
Brothers and sisters, man.
Brothers are brothers, man.
Yeah,
That's all it is
exactly.
to it. So, and that's what I wish a lot of people would spend more time on. Is if you spend as much time being constructive and helping somebody as you do being so critical of our government and everything that's going on. Of course, our government's screwed up. It's democracy. It's not a perfect system. I get that. Damn it, we got political.
Well, real quick before we let you off the hook, he's over 2 years into his. What's been your take on his presidency so far?
A lot of people don't like it, but I come from a military background. I come from a father who was military background. And I'm the same way. I tell you how it is. He tells you how it is. Mm-hmm. You don't like it. You don't want it sugar-coated. You want it Splenda-coated. You want it stevia-coated. However you want it coated, it's not going to be that way with him.
Fair.
Sorry. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of his banter, but it is what it is. I'm not.
We knew that before.
Yeah.
So, actually, to his credit, he hasn't changed.
No.
So
he's still a doofus, and we get it. Yeah. But you know what? He's our president, and we're in a good economy right now. I say, as being a veteran and being on VA
gas
benefits,
prices have been going up.
That has nothing to do with the presidency, though.
No, I'm just saying.
You know, the same thing was when Obama was in. It went up to almost over $4, and nobody said anything about that.
I probably did because it was over $4. I would have said that same thing.
I had a conversation with a former band member, and he was talking about when the gas prices went up when President Bush was in office. And, of course, he said, well, he's an oil man. And he's like that. I just looked at him and went, are you sure you want to say that? Are you sure this is part of the conversation we want to have? Because that's the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life. Mm-hmm. But, again, my opinion, you don't like it, cool. I'll move on.
Well, let's move on. Let's get away from
delicious.
Politics. Yeah, let's talk the work you're involved in. Again, when I first connected with you, it was because of Ville TV Network. For people who are not familiar with that, what is Ville TV Network about?
I always have described Ville TV Network as kind of being the MTV of the past. You think about how you remember the Headbangers Ball. You remember Yo MTV Raps. You remember MTV Music News and stuff like that. Entertainment news. That's what the entire formula was, or the mission statement for Ville TV when it started out. Now, obviously, we've gone into conventions, film festivals, and I have since been producing a lot of films and television shows and stuff like that. And to me, that's a lot of fun. Yeah. It's really cool.
It is cool. Yeah.
The great thing about Ville TV Network is it's not just a TV network, it's a network of people that always work together. Mm-hmm. And so with that formula in mind, myself, Herschel Zahn of Renegade Art Productions, who is
trying to get him on too, but
he's one of my mentors. He's probably one of the best directors I've ever worked with. Not to say anything bad about anybody else. No. Chris Magger from Cryptiatic Productions, who I've recently become very, very good friends with and worked on a couple projects with him, and then J.C. Rositas of Crimson Knight. With these four companies, we have formed. Oh, and I've got to throw out Janet K Photography because she's an amazing photographer, Janet Morris. Okay. But she is unbelievably great. With this particular formula, we have started Creative Motion Studios, or CMS, which we just started a studio down here. We started over in New Albany for a little while. That didn't work out, which is fine. We wanted to be back in Kentucky anyway. So we're at this hashtag launch Louisville, 816 East Broadway, which is a beautiful building, by the way. Oh, yeah. Okay. It is a beautiful building, Kevin. I'm telling you, I got to get you down there because you would fit in great.
Well, I'm just, not to call you out here, I'm looking at the About page on Creative Motion Studios, and it still has the New Albany address. Just saying.
Oh, yeah, I've got But thank you. Thank you for calling me out on that, because now I have to change it.
Because that's not where you're at no more.
Damn it. No.
Yeah, you're here, back on this side of the river.
Yeah. And it's great because, again, this is a theater that was built back in 1915. Oh, it is beautiful.
Really?
Now, it has been a furniture store for several years.
Right.
So the thing about Launch Louisville is that it's a nonprofit right now. So what we try to do is we try to get money into that space, and any money that goes into that space goes right back into the reconstruction of the old theater.
Oh, that's cool.
So let's think about it. Do we want another palace here? Hell yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
The beautiful thing about it, and I don't know if this is a conflict of interest or anything, but 102.3 WLRS, the Walrus is back, ladies and gentlemen, and it is broadcasting live from there.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute, you did tell me that.
I did tell you that.
That's a daily thing?
That's a legit thing every single day.
That is their home.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well.
I am
in our face.
Jim Coyle, a.k.a. Skinny J.
Yeah.
Bought the call letters and started WLRS. And it's WLRS 102. Wait, hold on.
Officially, does that stand for Louisville Rocks Station? What was
WLRS, Louisville Rock Station? No, actually, LRS standing for Louisville Rock School. Radio School. I'm sorry.
School. Okay.
That's when it was started back in the 60s.
Okay.
And that's what it started out as.
Okay.
So LRS102.com is the web address. So, and they've actually got a great app. You can pick up your phone, your iPhone, Android,
it has an app too.
Click on it.
Very cool.
Live DJs Monday through Friday, weekends as well. Guys, I got to tell you,
24/7.
24/7.
Yeah.
Well, not live DJs like, in the midnight hours
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But, we got the morning show with Skinny J every single morning. You get your traffic reports from Huge Rod. We got Hippie Head on there. We've got, guys, we got so many. I can't even begin. Like, if I pulled it up on my little tablet, I could probably tell you everybody. But just go to the damn website and figure it out.
LRS.com, right?
LRS102.com.
Okay, got it. Creative Motion Studios, your about tagline is a collaboration of Renegade Art Productions, Creepy Attic Productions, Crimson Night Productions, and Ville TV Network.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the story with all the other productions?
As I said, Herschel Zahn has been my mentor for years. He was the director for De Vertrag, which is our
say it again.
De Vertrag, which is German for the contract.
Yeah.
That was actually our first collaboration project. Along with we do a lot of Jason William Allen's videos, and that's always fun for us to get together and really create some great stuff with that. But he took an idea from my head and put it on there, and of course we had the very talented Vernon Wells.
Oh yeah.
He is such an
icon.
He's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He really is. But he's your iconic 80s bad guy.
He was. I mean, really. That's a very fair statement.
Because he was on Knight Rider, MacGyver,
obviously
Mad Max, Weird Science, Commando.
Commando.
I mean, dude, it's just the list goes on, and he's
went
really
head to head with Arnold.
Funny. It's so awesome to be on set with him because he loves to tell stories of that.
I can imagine.
His ribs were broke almost the entire shoot for
Where does
Commando.
he live?
He lives in California.
Does he? Okay.
Which, by the way, he has a wolf rescue. You can look that up as well. He wolfs and fosters.
Oh wow!
Or he fosters and cares for and releases wolves.
Okay, wow!
Right there, and it's pretty amazing to see some of the stuff that he does.
Sure. Yeah.
But he was great when he came in, and I think the thing that he loved most about the script for De Vertrag was he gets to play a good guy.
Is that really? Is
he's
that
kind
what
of
it
a
is?
hero, yeah. So
I mean, I knew it. Yeah, from watching all the minis that you all, because you put it all out on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel.
And he is the good guy.
He is.
And so he thought that was cool, right?
Oh yeah, he loved it because
did he officially was he typecast as a bad guy in Hollywood?
Oh, he's been typecast his whole career.
Yeah.
And he knows, he goes, it's easy to play a bad guy. He said it's really challenging when you have to be somebody good or be somebody emotional or be somebody this and that.
That's true. I get that.
And so that's what's so great about the fact that we get to, because he goes, I can play evil all day long. And if you ever work with him on set, you'll understand. But no.
That's a good point, because with evil, in fairness, how emotional do you have to be evil?
You just have to be sick. Remember, he was also in Inner Space, the guy with the interchangeable hands.
Yeah,
totally him.
Yeah.
He said he goes, it was easy.
Yeah,
and he was actually he's been in so many films, and he has so many guest appearances.
To his credit, yeah.
The great thing about it too is that we just finished a project that I produced and production managed a little bit, and then I got my assistant director badge on. Hashtag Rosalie, which we just had a premiere in Cynthiana. Let me tell you about this.
Okay,
this premiere. This thing was insane. Reed and Ashton Masterson, who are two illusionists. If I can ever get them down here on your show, you need to speak with them because they are wonderful people.
Make it happen.
But they live in Cynthiana, so they made this whole thing. Rose Opera House or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's supposed to be like very haunted, yada this. That's where they do all their practicing. Well, that's where we had the premiere. We had a 3 police car escort to our limo, our big stretch limo. We had Santiago Cirilla from The Walking Dead, who was there with us. Of course, he was one of the lead characters in Rosalie. Yeah. It's a horror film. It's going to be out there very shortly. You guys can check it out. The great thing about it, too, is that this is just another project that we're going to do with Creepy Attic. And it is, I don't know if I can officially announce it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And if I get crucified by it, I get crucified by my directors. This will be one of the first films that I do where I have Chris Maggard of Creepy Attic Productions and Herschel Zahn co-directing For the Love of My Daughter, which I have to look at my notes real quick, so I apologize.
Is that your phone?
The great thing about this right now is, oh crap, I gotta look it up. For the Love of My Daughter is starring some really talented actors. I mean, we've got Costas Mandylor in it, Robert Mukes.
Robert. That's the Robert tall guy, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good-looking guy, too, man. He's got better hair than me. I'm going to have to cut it before he leaves.
What is he, about 6'7"? I mean, something.
I don't know. He's a big feller.
Big guy, yeah.
Vernon Wells. This will be the 3rd project I've worked on him.
That's cool.
I worked with on him. Kate Hodge, which if you might remember her from Saw 2 and Saw 3.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's a wonderful, beautiful actress. I can never say her name. Rossi. I'm sorry, I'm going to get slammed. I know I am. William Bell, who was also on The Walking Dead. Santiago Cirilla was on The Walking Dead. Jessica York, who was one of my... I got to tell you something about Jessica York. She came on for The Fetrog and was just... When I say
Is that where I know the name?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was also in Rosalie, but Jessica has my heart. I love Jessica. If you're, I just love you so much, sweetheart. I really do. She's a wonderful actress and just a wonderful person. Santiago's in there. We've also got some other names in there. Tuesday Night. That's not just ironic that we're doing this on a Tuesday night.
But it is really Tuesday night.
It is Tuesday night. That's an actress that will be in it.
Yeah. That's great.
And Pancho Muller. And then, like I said, there's a few other. And I got to tell you something about Ashley Warhol. She's in there as well. Ashley Warhol is a wonderful musician. We just did a video for her last weekend.
Is she local?
No, she's not. She's actually out of Texas.
Okay.
She drove all the way to Cynthiana, Kentucky from Texas for us to do a video for her.
Oh, wow.
And she is a beautiful young lady.
Okay.
And a lot of people compare her to Amy Lee.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's better personally, but I might be a little biased because that's just me talking. But she's involved with this as well. So the point I'm making is that this is a story about what happens when a daughter is brought into the sex trafficking. It's actually based on a true story, by the way.
Is it?
But when your daughter's brought into the sex trafficking, and what would a dad do? You have a daughter. What would you do?
Oh, it would be vigilante.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I find it justified as well. However, the court systems do not.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what this is based on. And this is something I'm very excited about. I think it's a wonderful story.
Based on a true story? Really?
Totally based on a true story.
Oh, wow.
Again, we'll be putting more stuff out about that. I've still got to kind of keep a little bit on the DL about it.
No,
as the kids say. Is it DL? Is that what they say?
It is still DL. They still, yeah.
But think about it. I've got a daughter. You've got a daughter. What would you do if you found out that your daughter was in the sex trafficking industry and you knew exactly who did it? Mm-hmm. You would go crazy. Yeah. I know I would.
I think it would be methodically crazy because, I just to, just go insanely crazy on a whim. That's not. No.
Yeah.
I would hurt these people because I'm sure it'd be probably more than one person.
Then you're gonna love this movie, Kevin. I'm telling you that right now.
And I was going to touch on the fact of the true story. I have to admit, I've got daughters, and my youngest is 17, and my thing, it's so scary right now when I hear stories about girls being out, and all of a sudden these vans pull up and they get kidnapped, and then
absolutely.
they're gone.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what Thanks for reminding me that there's one of those stressful times being a father, because
it absolutely is. I mean, my daughter's 19, and I still think about it all the time.
Yeah, because that's how sick.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping to bring awareness to this. Just like the Foot Dog, we wanted to bring awareness to veteran suicide and how difficult it is. And I think that's why Vernon jumped on board, is how difficult it is for our veterans to assimilate into civilian life.
Right.
Because it was a little more easy for me, because I just kind of go with the flow, and I just make shit happen for myself.
Right.
But there are veterans out there. We're losing 23 veterans a day to suicide, Kevin. That's
And a lot of that, or I don't know, a lot, that's the right word, but there's a percentage of that is due to the post-traumatic
PTSD.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, my father's in the Vietnam War, and I still hear the stories. My mom had, tells me that not too long ago he still wakes up nightmares from.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I get it, and it's sad. And so, my thing right now, we're still trying to get the funding, because we've got distribution for that, and so we're wanting to actually turn it into a full-length feature film.
Yeah, cool.
But that's one of my main goals, is to. I'm just hoping that if by doing this, if one veteran looks at it and says, "Hey, man, they get what I'm going through," and puts that gun down, or that bottle down, or those pills down, whatever, then mission accomplished. Just one, and I would be satisfied.
Not to steer off, but this is a nice little segue to ask this question: Is Big Brother doing enough?
And
I'm not trying to single our administration. I'm just in general. I mean,
in general,
the answers would be no, right?
People are not going to like this. It's actually getting better.
Better.
It is.
But still a ways to go, right?
Oh, yeah, there's still a ways to go. But the thing that people don't understand is that mental health is a long process to understand.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay? Medications don't work the same on everybody. So sometimes it's a experimental process, if you will. I think just having more people like myself, with one of the things we do is a veteran outreach program. We're hoping to bring veterans on set and teach them filmmaking stuff.
I like that.
Because I want veterans on my set, because I know that here's their mentality. Here's a problem. Here's a solution. Execute. That's it. Those are the people that I want to be working with. And so
you're taking care of your own.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Foot is very important to me, because my character in general, Alex Crackle, was killed in Iraq in 2005. My character is based completely after him. When we were shooting, I had his stepmom, his father, and his daughter.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
It was heart-wrenching.
Well, that too.
Yeah,
but big picture, to have them apart.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe beautiful is not the right word, but it was it
was totally beautiful. Yeah, absolutely, and it was wonderful to have them there.
Yeah.
And at one point, Michelle, when we had wrapped with Vernon Wells and wrapped with them that weekend, which was the first weekend we shot, and
you got their total blessing, right?
100%. Not only from his father, but his mother, who lives in the UK.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and actually, Cherokee is from the UK.
Yeah,
Cherokee Crackle,
starting to come back. Yeah,
who I've adopted as my second daughter. She is just my heart. I love her to death. I check on her all the time.
Good.
But I became very close to them. And when we were sitting there, when we wrapped with them, and we did our little speeches over at Floyd County Brewing Company, which we shot at, had to give a quick shout out to my buddy Brian Hampton over there. When we wrapped and everything, and I gave my thank yous, and everybody gave their thank yous. Michelle, his stepmom, basically said, "Can I say something?" Of course, we were like, "Of course you can." And she goes, "Sean, seeing you this weekend and meeting you and welcoming, and all your family welcoming us as family and all this and all that," she said, "It was like we have our Alex back, because your mannerisms are identical to what he was." Wow. I started bawling right there. I couldn't help it.
I was going to say, I kind of got...
It was a very intense moment. And then right after that, my Herschel came inside in tears and said, "Everybody go out on the back deck." As we went out on the back deck, there was a double rainbow happening. Now, the funny thing about that is that later on that year, I met Cherokee and the Crackles at the Illinois State Fair, and it rained, and there was a double rainbow that night as well. So, again, this is something that I know Alex is watching over us right now, and I know Alex approves of what we do. And to me, that's, I don't care what your spiritual beliefs are, but that's, to me,
no, it's what you believe.
It's very symbolic of what this goes for.
Very cool. Very cool.
And that's a wonderful thing about all these companies coming together. We're trying to we're just creating.
How are you pulling that
content
off with all these companies? Because egos, different people, and
Kevin, I love that you said the word ego, because that is the most used word in this industry ever.
But it's not just used. It's pretty real, right?
No, it's very real. You're absolutely right. But here, let me be the first to tell you right now, though. Everybody inside of Creative Motion Studios has not one ego.
Good.
Except me. I've got a little bit of one. I'm kind of a diva.
I'm glad you clarified that, because I was going to say, but
I'm a little bit of a diva. But that's just because I can brag on everybody that I work with, because they are the best in the industry. And I'm going to tell you something right now, Kevin. I will put them up against anybody in Hollywood. You bring me anybody right now, and I promise you, my guys can do it just as good, if not better.
Well, let me add to that, because it actually started with you, and I'm gonna go a little deep in a little bit, because with you kind of helped turn me on to the film industry scene locally. I had heard of certain people, projects, but you gave me some of that insight on what this town was all about locally.
Sure.
The talent-wise. Creatively, writers, directors, production companies, actors, actresses, and I'm really into it. So, I've had tons of your fellow peers on podcasts, and so just staying with that is that, to your point, this town, I think, can hold up.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with the tax incentive being in place. And hopefully it doesn't go anywhere. Hopefully it actually re-embellishes a little bit of what we're trying to do. That's my main focus, is to actually put Creative Motion Studios on the map. Tell you a little story. There was a particular local actress who decided to contact one of the directors that I was working with. I'm going to leave names out of this right now, but you know who you are. And said that because I produced...
Well, I don't know, but anyway.
No, it's fine. I'll tell you after we're not recording. I produced a local film, a local short film, but anyway, point is that she called this particular director and said, you should probably not have Sean working on any of your projects, because nothing is ever successful with what he does. And I went, wow, you scumbag bitch. I said, you are a no-talent actress that wants to sit here and run your mouth. Your husband, who is a douchebag photographer and a scumbag, and you want to sit here and try to throw me under the bus? Look, just go about your own little clique and do your own little thing. Leave me the hell alone. The point I'm making here, though, is that I haven't done one single project in the past 4 years that hasn't gotten some sort of distribution, tons of play somewhere, or has been put in the right hands. Because everything that I produce, it gets accomplished. One way, shape, or form. There's a reason people call me. You can call me egotistical. You can call me a diva. I don't give a shit. But there's a reason people call me. And it's because they know that when something needs to get done, I will make it happen come hell or high water. It might not be the exact way we spoke of, but I promise you in one way, shape, or form, what I said I would do is going to happen. And that's why I do what I do. And that has been a lot of mentoring through Herschel, through Chris, through pretty much all of my guys, David Waite, Tyler. There's so many people I can mention right now, but and I'm sorry if I'm not mentioning you guys. I love every single one of you, but if it wasn't for them pushing me, and none of it would have happened.
In fairness to you and people who are watching that you may be singling out, I know of, I don't know, in detail, but I know you're not on the same page with some people. Why is that? Why is it?
A lot of people that okay.
Now I know. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Your ex-wife is also an actress, local actress.
If that's what you want to call her, but whatever. You know what? One of the reasons that me and you are only like technically meeting face to face for the first time is because I went through some terrible stuff. I hold no qualms about the fact that I went into a very deep depression when my divorce happened. It is what it is. I was on my floor with a bottle of scotch and a 9mm ready to take my own life. I hold no qualms about that. That's what I did.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I've had wonderful people in my life that have pulled me out of that. So, you know, like I said, the people that... I've never lied about anything that's gone on, Kevin. I've never embellished anything. I tell you straight out how it is and what has happened.
And in fairness, too, we've not had heart-to-hearts or any type of conversation with your personal life.
Yeah.
And I haven't. We just hadn't had to go there. For, you know. And the truth is, I didn't know anything about that personal side of you until kind of after the fact.
Well, it was the night that I was on the same show that you had my ex-wife on.
Which,
you didn't know, and that's fine.
I had no, yeah.
And that's fine. Again, I hold nothing against you for that. Yeah. You didn't.
I did not know a tie there. I didn't.
Because I kept a lot of it private.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Yeah. But it came public. And I tell people all the time, you know, this is the truth. This is what happened. Some people, they don't want to hear the truth. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not here to get people on my side. I don't give a shit. I do what I do because I do it well. And so, I mean.
I can't, you know, I'm not taking sides or anything because you and I have been cool as fuck. I mean, you've treated me very well. But
and I wouldn't ask you to take sides.
No, and I get that. I know, and you haven't. And no, and no one from that other side has asked that either. So I can't, you know, that part, I can't speak on it because I don't know. And but you've not, you know, during our times that we've had conversations in the past, that never came up until that particular night when you saw, because I don't know, were you going to be a guest, like co-host with me that night?
No, I was actually just going to come on and...
Okay, you were not, because sometimes I would have you had co-hosted with me at the time.
Yeah.
So that would have totally been weirded out if that was...
Oh, no.
Of course, you wouldn't have...
Yeah, Sean would have walked away on that one. I'm sorry. But because quite frankly, in the heat of the moment, that's another one of my problems is that sometimes I speak out of passion, and I just kind of speak my mind.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, some of my board members find a problem with it because I understand that.
But if you're factual, speaking out and being passionate or just making your getting it out there. If you're factually, if you're correct, if it's factual, then
yeah.
I don't know.
It is what it is, and this is what I've told everybody. Look, this is what happened, and this is how it happened. If she wants to deny it, or these people want to deny it, that's fine. And it's not just. I'm not just talking about my ex-wife. I'm talking about the other people that I've worked with in the past and stuff. It's like this is what they did. This is factual shit, guys, okay? I have the text messages. I have the Facebook messages to prove it. I don't feel that I need to make these public. But if you want to question me, bring it on. If you have something to say to me, say it to me and not about me. Because I promise I'll shoot you down quicker than anything.
Verbally, not 9mm.
No, nothing like that. I'm not going to do that.
Laser.
No, they're not going to be lasers. But there might be. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Evil. Evil.
I know it's going to be evil.
Let's go back.
And scene.
Yeah. What else is with the created CMS? Like, what else is going on? You have the radio.
Well, I mean,
are you looking for like a podcasting thing, or
we've talked about this numerous times, Kevin.
But we never have that face to face that we've kind of supposed to have.
Yeah, this is true. Well, I would love to see Shooting from the Lip broadcasting live from Launch Louisville. But this is a good gig, though. I wouldn't ever give this up.
I like this too. Obviously it's a recording, so
sure. But I mean, this is a good gig.
Yeah, I like it.
But the thing about Launch Louisville, and that's the wonderful thing about it, is that it's a communal workspace, and there is numerous creatives there. Mm-hmm. One of which is a podcast studio, which is actually in the old theater balcony.
Let's see, I'd heard about that.
So well, I'm just telling you right now, it is freaking awesome. Yeah. It is absolutely amazing. Of course, LRS is there, WLRS is there again, and always looking for talent to come on and do.
We'll take that offline. We'll take it offline. I like it.
But it is, and then of course I'm trying to bring back Ville TV Live. Now Ville TV Live was basically the Headbangers Ball of the 2000s.
Well, I'm glad you went back to that. Let's talk about that. What are you trying to bring back live?
What I want to do more than anything is bring back, because basically the show would start. It's like, hey, here's a nice little intro. Hey, my name's Sean Burton. I had a co-host at the time who will remain nameless at this time. But anyway, and we would say, hey, here's some cool videos locally. Here's Ugly, which who doesn't love Ugly? Mm-hmm. I actually saw Ugly right here at this beautiful bar, and it was, I just love those guys. It was only a few years ago.
I was gonna say,
it was awesome. But that was with Kevin. Damn.
McCreary.
Yeah. God rest your soul, brother. I gotta tell you,
I still miss that dude.
That was hard to take.
K-Mick, yeah.
Sorry, I got a little emotional there for a second.
Badass guy.
Yeah, rest your soul, brother. Yeah. You are missed. But I got to see Ugly, one of my favorite bands of all time. Anyway, but we basically have like videos, and then we come back and we say, hey, we were at the Wizard World Comic Con this past week, and here's a cool 15-minute segment of where we were there. Fandom Fest is actually where I met Vernon Wells. We did an awesome interview with him. Same convention that I got to do a lightsaber battle with the one and only Ray Park. Darth Maul himself.
Lightsaber.
Man. Oh, man. And he let me win, which is a great thing about it.
Lightsaber is kind of like LARPing.
No, it was totally it was totally LARPing. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and make it sound cool. It's totally LARPing, right? But Ray Park, Darth Maul himself, let me win.
Yeah, that's a lightsaber battle.
Absolutely.
With him, it's lightsaber.
But that's when we met Vernon Wells, and I developed a relationship with him. I got him in another movie that was produced. We're not even going to talk about that. But anyway, the second movie, like I said, the Vetrog, that I worked with him on, and then, of course, For the Love of My Daughter's coming up. And we've got 2 more projects in the books right now with him on as well.
I did see you in a movie the other day. Finally, I got around watching this one movie, and you were in it.
Oh, crap. Which one?
You're a backseat guy in a Mustang.
Oh, screw those guys. I mean, yeah, overtime. Sorry.
I liked your part in that.
I get a lot of compliments over the dumb, drunk, bum clown. So
you did it well.
You know what? Years of practice, Kevin.
I was going to say, was it? How much of that was acting?
Actually, funny story. I was actually given a full when I was guzzling that vodka.
It wasn't vodka.
No, it actually was vodka. It was supposed to be water.
You really did vodka.
I'm not joking.
Are you just hyping up another one of those urban legends?
Absolutely not. It was vodka. They screwed me. I guzzled it, and then later felt very sick. But I was acting. Genius.
I like that.
I never stopped.
A good story.
Yeah, so that was one of the ones.
Do we need to add that to the what's that website? The IMDb.
Oh, it's on their IMDb.
It is that you actually guzzle.
Oh, no, the actual little factoid things? Yeah. No, we should probably... I'm going to do that, as a matter of fact.
That was real.
That was real vodka, at least for one of the takes. The rest of them were filled up by water, but I know the very first take
I'm sure.
had vodka in it.
Was it done as a joke, or...
It was totally done as a joke, I'm guessing.
But you played along with it, huh?
I played along with it. The cameras were rolling, brother. I got to do what I got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, right.
This is what I tell people all the time. It's like, I am not a lead actor, and that's okay. My character in The Vetrog was a lot different, but I am a bit part actor, and I'm fine with that. I don't claim to be a lead actor. I don't want to be, because I am much better at sitting behind the scenes and making sure that all of my guys have what they need to film, and that's where my strong points are.
Take me to, because I've had other writers, directors. Antonio, you know Antonio.
Antonio's brilliant.
Yeah, he's badass.
You gotta love the guy, man. You gotta really love the guy.
But, he touched on something too, and I don't think we really got to talking about much. How is funding? I mean, isn't there something that?
Oh, shit.
Do you know where I'm going? Is that in there like some type of state or what is it? How does that all work?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about the state funding and stuff like that, there is nothing. But Kentucky does offer a tax incentive, which is the same thing that Georgia does, that Hollywood does, Louisiana, Michigan.
Okay.
And it basically offers you so much back upon completion of principal photography.
All right. Okay.
So if you drop like $350,000, you get like $90,000 back once you completely, and that's from the state, because we're using local people, local restaurants.
Okay, that's where I'm getting the state thing. But
that's what it boils down to, and I think that's what's so wonderful about Kentucky is that we've been doing the tax incentive for several years. Now, I'm not going to say anything bad about our governor, but he was wanting to put that on the chopping block along with a few of our Senate people. Yeah. But, guys, it's not just the governor. Don't sit here and have a freaking heart attack about our governor.
Okay, fair enough. That's all right. But I get that.
It is our house.
Right.
Okay?
It's right.
And they're trying to take it down. Yeah. But now this is one thing that you're not going to – this is where the Democrats play very strong into this because they are completely unionized. Once you – put the tax incentive in place, then the unions come in. The SAG
you do have use for Democrats.
Oh, absolutely. I have use for everybody, brother. I'm telling you right now, I'm like a whore.
Opportunity.
I'm an equal opportunity user. Not even joking. That's what I do. Yeah. But so that's the good thing about that is to bring these SAG unions in and start unionizing some of our people. But the beautiful thing about it is that Creative Motion Studios has a full team set in place along with one of our sponsors, Red Star Pictures, who does all the grip and lighting for the region. We have those people set in place right now. And that's kind of the whole basis for what we do.
But if there's SAG union, because most of these actors, actresses, people locally, they're not part of SAG.
They're not part of SAG, but they can still work on SAG projects.
They can.
Yeah, absolutely, okay. And that's a wonderful thing about it. And I think nothing against SAG or anything like that, but there is so much talent here that is not SAG. I mean, it's just amazing. If you look at the production companies that I contract for, they're brilliant. But again, to unionize these people is great because then they're getting SAG rates and they're getting, all the benefits of that stuff. And that's one of our main focuses. For
that needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about unions.
No.
I don't want to be a part of it personally because I like what I do.
Yeah.
People say, hey, I need this or I need that. And I say, okay, let me make it happen. Right. And 95% of the time I pull through. You can ask anybody. I've worked on so many projects with Herschel. Austin Sheehan, who just did an amazing... he actually has... You guys got to check out something on YouTube. Look up Afro Vengeance. I'm serious, Kevin. If you don't watch this, we are no longer friends.
No, I'll check it out.
It is one of the most... It was a 48-hour film project. It was amazing. Well, we just did a short film called Horse Apiece, which is basically about three stoners that go to rob a bank and everything goes wrong. And the amount of brilliance. It starred Don Shea Stringer, who's a good friend of mine.
Three stoners who attempt to rob a bank.
Exactly. Don Shea, who was into Vertrag, you'll remember that. Francis Whitaker, however we call him. He was also in that. You should get him on the show. He's He's probably one of my favorite local actors of all time. There is nothing he cannot do.
I am got this fascination on trying to get everybody in the film industry on this show one way or the other.
I will make it happen, Kevin.
Please, yeah.
I have a big mouth, and I know how to use it. And then, of course, there was J.P. Leggenbold. But anyway, Austin Sheehan is the one that did this. And it turned out to be... Half the time on set, we could not stop laughing because it's a comedy, and obviously it's a comedy. It's three stoners trying to rob a bank. It is so damn funny, and the writing and the script and the actors portray it so brilliantly that you literally cannot stop laughing. There was times I had to walk off the set because I was just laughing at these guys.
That's cool.
Of course, it started, Billy Smith was in there, who's a very good friend of mine, and Christine Perez, who is just, let's face it, Christine Perez is just, I'm sorry, Christina.
Is she local?
Yeah, she's local. She's probably one of the sharpest female models in this area. I might be a little biased. She's a good friend of mine, so I might be a little biased, but it is what it is. I deal with it. But anyways, the point I'm making here is that it just started a lot of great local people. And that's what we're trying to do. And there might be an announcement for the 48-hour film festival that might be coming up. I don't know. I can't talk too much about it, but let me just say there's going to be a super team put into place.
I'd expect nothing less from you.
That's how I roll. Notice my pinky is out. I am a classy
You're
broad.
spilling it.
And I'm spilling. Holy crap. Have another one, Sean. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable.
Cheers, my brother.
Let me throw this off. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Oh, man.
What is so that's I guess your upcoming project.
Yeah, that for the love of my daughter, we've got another script coming up for with Herschel Zond. It's really cool. It's a werewolf short that we're gonna do, and then is
it a horror or is this like true horror?
It's gonna be true horror.
Okay, no comedy or anything.
No, I mean there might be a little bit funny things here and there. I've read the script; it's brilliant. But if you go back, you'll see Herschel's tribute to Clive Barker with "On My Way to Hell," basically a Hellraiser fan film.
Oh yeah,
and it was so awesome. Steve O. Shepard was in there, makeup artist. He did all the makeup.
He's amazing. I'm trying to get him on too. And
Steve O. Let me tell you something. You little
get him on.
You little mother. Steve O.'s acting debut was in De Fetrog.
Oh, was it?
It was. He was awesome. So we had to give him more stuff.
Okay.
And then of course we've got another movie about a fallen angel called Luke. We've got Jesus.
Is it like when you say fallen angel? Is it in like some type of heavenly divine thing or what? What are we talking about here?
I'm not going to tell you, but it's gonna be it's pretty sick.
Stay tuned
right here. Yeah. And Creative Motion Studios is moving forward on a lot more projects. We've got other things coming up, and Ville TV Live is coming back. I've been so big. I work out of town. I work in Cincinnati 4 days a week, and then I come back here for 3 days, and I try to put all that stuff
what's in Cincinnati?
I work as a surgical scrub tech,
yeah?
Which is basically the monkey that hands the instruments to the doctor.
So you have a real daytime job.
I do, because unfortunately this glamorous life of the movies doesn't pay.
All the bills, right?
Well, it doesn't pay regularly. It does pay, and it pays very well, but it doesn't
not,
pay regularly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Although Herschel has quit his day job, and he is doing production full time.
Well, good for him.
So Renegade Art Productions is constantly out there. But Herschel, I look at Herschel, and this is not to say anything bad about any of the director, but Herschel is probably one of the most brilliant directors I have ever had the privilege to learn from.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Because
that's another guy. Just saying.
Oh, we'll make it happen. But he is actually one of those people that will make. I don't know. I get amazed every time I see his vision and everything, and I get so excited. Like when we did the video for Ashley Warhol last weekend in Cynthiana, right before the Rosalie movie premiere, to see Herschel Zahn as the DP and Chris Maggard as the director, and to see those guys working together, I was like a proud father. I mean,
it's a moment.
It was a moment.
Yeah.
I got giddy too many times. I had to walk out because it was so awesome seeing two brilliant minds putting something together and making it so.
Did you go all fanboy there?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I actually passed out 2 times because it was kind of. That guy needs to shut up over there, yo. We're having an interview here. I don't know what he thinks this is. Perhaps you don't know me. I'm kind of a big deal. Look me up.
Yeah, look at it.
I have an IMDb page.
Yeah, that too. Do you have a Wikipedia yet?
Not a Wikipedia yet, but I'm going to start one because anybody can start one.
Because anybody can start one, right?
And I'm going to.
I need to start.
But it's okay. You should. I'm actually going to start one for you.
No,
and you
please.
can just edit it.
Edit it accordingly. There you go. Music, man. You've got history in the music scene here.
I do. I've I've been a steadily working drummer for over 30 years.
Yeah.
I was in a band.
A few.
Well, I've been in one band for the majority of my time being here in Louisville, and it was screwed. It was Two Pump Chump.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? But anyway,
which I was a fan of the band.
I'm sorry. You must have not had anything better to do at the time.
I like.
I'm kidding.
I like Scott.
Scott's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always been very nice and cool with me. And
we had a bad breakup. I'm just going to say that.
Okay.
All right. It is what it is.
How long ago was that?
3, 4, 5. I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't care. The time has gone on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I did that. I've been in numerous bands. I was in a band when I was stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia. I was in a band when I was stationed in Germany. So I've been doing music a very long time. I've been composing music for a very long time. And some of the cool things about it is I've actually been composing some
stuff for
movie score.
Stuff.
Yeah, movie score.
Yeah. Which is,
a lot less stressful.
Yeah, but that's deeper, man.
Not really.
No?
Not really.
Because, movie scores, we're talking, I guess it's the instruments, the complexity of the instrument. Because when I think movie scores, I think of this orchestral arrangement. And,
You're thinking Star Wars, man. I'm thinking like Peter Berg uses...
Peter Berg, yeah.
I can't think of... Peter Berg is one of my favorite directors of all time. Yeah. But he uses a score writer, Jeffrey... the name has slipped my mind. I apologize for that. But like Lone Survivor and The Kingdom are two of my favorite movie scores, and they're so simple.
Okay.
It's brilliant. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's what I kind of look at, simplicity along with a little bit of complexity.
That makes sense. Fair. And now you say that, I stand corrected because one of my 80s favorite bands was Yes.
Oh, wait, what? Yes, of course.
On Over a Lonely Heart. And the architect behind 80s Yes was Trevor Rabin.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, you know Trevor. But now he's like a major accomplished movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He does,
along with Stuart Copeland from The Police.
Copeland, yeah.
So Martin Scorsese uses him on numerous projects.
Yeah, anyways. But yeah.
Amazing. It's the drummers that seem to be the brilliant ones.
Well, Trevor's a guitarist.
I know.
But anyways,
he's also a drummer.
But he does play drums. Yeah, but to your point, it is, a lot of his stuff is simple. So I didn't, so.
And then I think that's the wonderful thing about it is that, you look at scores from like Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Of course, that's an iconic masterpiece that was written. You look at a lot of like The Godfather and stuff like that. You look at some of those brilliantly written things. What stands in my mind more than anything, if you ever listen to the movie The Kingdom is one of my favorites by all, and Lone Survivor, obviously. But if you listen to the background music, it literally puts you in that moment. And I think that's kind of where a lot of my writing comes into play.
Well, to me, arguably, the music is equally as important as the acting and the
absolutely.
So I mean, that's
and that's something I try to be a little bit of a part of now. But again, it is what it is. Sometimes I kind of have to take a back step because there's only so much I can do.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm producing, I'm production managing.
There's only 24 hours in a day.
Absolutely. There needs to be about 36 hours in a day, and I only need to sleep for 3 of those.
Well, I mean, 36. I mean, I guess we just need more days. Do we need more hours or do we need more days?
Just more hours in one day because, quite frankly, it is what it is. But the great thing, like I said, about working with Chris Maggard and Herschel Zahn and J.C. Mercedes is the fact that they give me the freedom almost to kind of almost create with them. Many of the times when we're talking about scripts, I'm involved in that script decision-making. And sometimes I have some good ideas and sometimes I have some shit ideas. And it is what it is. But
they reel you in?
Herschel's very quick to look at me and say, "That's stupid, shut up." Yeah. But I still respect it.
Yeah.
True story about the Vertrag when I could not get my lines down. Jessica York, who I was playing against, who is a brilliant actress, had all of her lines memorized. Sean did not. At one point, Herschel started screaming at the top of his lungs and throwing things. and telling me to get my lines right. Hit it just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because afterwards, I think Jessica looked at me at one point and said, "Are you okay with that? I'm screaming at you?" I went, "Herschel knows how he can push me." And that's the brilliant thing about it. Herschel is an actor's director, and he knows how he can push his actors. And he will push you to the max, to the point where you're actually out of breath after that scene. And I think that's one of the brilliant things about it. So the point I'm making here is that, every team has a multiple level of people that work together to accomplish a greater goal. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, if any team member drops out, man, it is significantly hurt. And I get that. I get that now. David Wade, I have to throw it out to my boy D. Double Wayne, who has probably been one of the most successful proteges of Herschel Zahn on the planet. This man basically goes in. He doesn't care if he doesn't know it. He's going to know it by the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So I got to throw some love out to my boy D. Double Wayne, or David Waite, as some of us know him. So, you're welcome, Dave. Now give me my $20.
Man, my head's spinning because all the shit you're involved with.
It's making my head. Your head's spinning, Kevin. Yeah. Think about how mine is.
Well, I'm going to say, I'm going to kind of go there too. I'm like, I'm reacting to your actions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is what it is. And the great thing about it, though, is that I couldn't be successful without the team that I have behind me.
Of course.
And, if they didn't push me and say, hey, I need a house with rafters that are 3,000 years old. And I'm like, all right, well, screw it. Let's see what I can do. Mm-hmm. It may not be 3,000 years, may only be 20 years old, but the point is that we're still on the same project. So.
Pulling it off.
Yeah.
Let's go back to music a little bit. Is there music in the? Because didn't you recently kind of connect with a band, start playing with one?
I did.
Music is huge. I mean, I do love the music scene here.
Yeah,
I absolutely do, and to the point where we've got so much talent in this town musically. Mm-hmm. I don't need to go to Nashville, Indy, anywhere else to see. I mean, I'm covered here. You might think different, but I'm just saying, I'm a huge fan, and I got a lot to choose from here to keep me vested, to keep me entertained. What is your take on the music scene here?
This is a hard subject for me. I like to see a good cover band. I mean, original music it's not going to cut it in this town, unfortunately. But original music will work a lot with the movie industry. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, I'm going to go off subject. I'm going to go back to right what you're saying. Okay. I've taken 6 different songs that I helped write, produce, record, and perform live with Two Pump Chump, and I have sold 20% of the song and made money off of it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm. But as far as like the local music scene, there's just, I don't think there's enough love for it. Let me explain. Why would somebody pay a band $1,200, which they're worth? If any band comes in and plays anywhere, they should be paid $1,200. That's roughly, if you got 5 guys, divide that up, with all the amount of stress and moving stuff and
little
doing
overhead,
this.
sound, whatever.
Yeah, sound and all that stuff. Okay, or you could pay a DJ half that to come in and spin a record. Now, I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect any DJs out there. One thing I always love about DJs is that sometimes they come to me, they find out I'm a drummer, and they say, "Oh, yeah, man, I make beats." I'm like, "Aw, isn't that cute?" That's adorable. You make beats on a drum machine. I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah, I get that. That I get.
I'm sorry if I offended any of my DJ friends out there, but get over it. I'm sorry. It is what it is. So I look at that and I think that the industry is dying, but I love to see really good cover bands come in and do music that I loved. I did the cover band scene for a little bit after Two Pump Chump, and with a band called Dig, and we did the old 90s alternative, but we did it, check us out, we did it in the essence of MTV Unplugged.
Oh, really?
Which, by the way, Ville TV Unplugged down at Launch Louisville is going to happen, sponsored by WLRS. Anyway, we'll talk more about that when I get that shit worked out. Yeah. First look right here. So I look at that and I think, when I see a really good cover band that's doing stuff that I'm just like, oh man, and not doing your typical bar band stuff, your Jenny, your Cumbersome, your Jesse's Girl. Guys, think outside the box. That's all I'm asking here. Remember a time when you loved music and go there. But don't do the obscure 80s stuff. Don't do song number 12 on AC/DC's first album that nobody knows except musicians. Okay, if you want to be a musician's band, you might want to stick in the studio. Yeah. Or I can put you doing some score music if you want to do that. So, to answer your question a little more honestly, I mean, music scene is dying for local bands and and original and but live bands and stuff like that, and it saddens me because I made a very good living for a very long time being in a band. Mm-hmm. Germany, Georgia, both places that I was stationed, I made a lot of money and doing fun stuff.
Yeah, I can tell you, I work with a few venues that are really trying to make it very possible for bands to come in, good bands,
sure.
I mean, and get paid, very, reasonably well. So yeah, I'm a big advocate of that, and I'm gonna always do my part to help the music scene any way I can. But yeah, it's a little hit and miss, and I think there's some acts out there that's the cookie cutter, and I mean it's just
it's cookie cutter. Yeah. It's typical bar band stuff.
Yeah. So,
and I just think you're better than that.
Yeah, I think I think try to be a little. I know they're cover songs, but be a little.
I think the beautiful thing about Dig is that we would sit there and we would do like Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains, but like MTV Unplugged style.
Yeah, and that's a different take on it.
And it was so freaking awesome. Godsmack was one. Oh my God, we did. I can't remember the name of the song, but I just remember going, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" And it was fun. I had a good time doing that. But I do have to give a quick shout out to, Janet Morris, who is, I'm not going to say ex-girlfriend because that sounds so wrong. She's a prior girlfriend, but we're still good friends. Okay. She is one of the most amazing singers I have ever heard in my life. She has a great band up in Springfield, Illinois, and they do they do a lot of the popular stuff. Mm-hmm. And then that's the fun thing about it is getting to see band. I want to go and see a band that's having fun on that stage.
Right.
Not a band who's like, holy shit, I'm playing Jenny again.
Yeah, going through the motions.
Yeah, like I was for 12 years. Mm.
All right, Sean, give social media. Where can people gravitate to all of your work and your projects and your businesses?
There's so many. If you find CreativeMotionStudios.com, which surprisingly we got that. CreativeMotionStudios.com. If you go to that,
you did get that?
Yeah.
Actually,
amazing, right? Yeah. We were completely. I bought that myself.
Good.
But if you go there, you'll go to all of the websites for Creepy Attic, Crimson Night, and Renegade Art, and Ville TV Network, and stuff like that. You can also check us out all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff. You can find us there. Seriously, just Google what we're doing right now, and I promise you will run into us. If you don't, you just don't know how to use the internet. Yeah. You're my parents.
It is 2019, people. Get with it.
Yeah, seriously, get with it, ladies and gentlemen.
Sean, thanks for hanging out, man.
Thank you, my
finally
friend.
meeting you, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cheers, my friend.
Do it again.
Appreciate it.
I want to stay in the loop with your work. So,
well, I'll be doing more of this because actually my job as a producer is to get out here and talk about more of the shit that we're doing. So,
platforms available,
and we've got too much.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk right now. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see shooting from the lip at Launch Louisville.
I'm going to get there I want to tour. I'm going to hang out.
No problem. Yeah. I can make that happen.
I
know people.
You've got connections.
I've got connections. I'm kind of a big deal.
My dad's got an awesome set of tools. We can fix it. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it, brother.